Morning, folks. Welcome back to the channel and the vlog. Thank you for following along. Today we get to play on the mill. It's a brisk probably 30 degrees outside right now. It's supposed to warm up into like the mid 30s, which is, it's actually kind of nice because the ground is frozen. So it's not this mucky, soupy mess that it's been for a while. So I should be able to drive around here and not make too much of a mess. And that'll be great. So I actually have my friend Brian Kilmore coming back. He was here a couple weeks ago. He's coming back with his dad. His dad wants to try it out, see what they're going to be getting into, but it looks like they're going to be moving forward with doing a mill and living the Sawyer life as well. So that's pretty cool and exciting. So in anticipation of them arriving, I am going to get some cleanup done around here. So got to warm up the machines, got to warm myself up and get to work. So hope you enjoy following along today. Now it's time to get to work. Well, you just witnessed a historic event here at my sawmill. This was the first blade change performed because the blade was dull. But while I have this thing open, I figured I might as well give you guys a tour of the sawmill if you've never seen the inside of one of these. So let me turn you around. This is the inside of my sawmill. It's, just like any other bandsaw, I guess, if you've ever used one, just bigger. So blade travels on these big cast iron wheels, spins roundy round, and cuts the wood. And this is the brake, so once you turn it off, there's a lot of momentum in here. It would just spin for quite a long time if the brake wasn't there. So when you disengage the drive pulley here, the brake applies, the drive pulley there attached to the motor there makes this thing spin roundy round. And it's a pretty simple little task over here. I push down on this lever and you can see it right there. Doop, doop, doop. That simultaneously is pulling on the throttle to give it some gas. And then, I'm not going to be able to show this for you, but as it does that, it pushes up on this mechanism, tightens this pulley so it engages with the drive shaft, and then pulls the brake away so it allows this thing to spin freely. This is a water tank. If you're not familiar with bandsaw mills, they have a coolant reservoir, so that's to help keep the blade cool and a little bit of lubrication. It's 27 degrees outside, so this thing is frozen solid, and I've been running the mill without any coolant / lubrication. Not too worried about the temperature because it is 27 degrees outside. But the lubrication piece may be of a concern. I got to do some research to see if there's anything I can put in these tanks that's kind of eco-friendly that'll help keep it from freezing. Or the other option is a little spritzer container that I can kind of occasionally spray diesel fuel on the blade, and that is a good lubricant, apparently. I'd use that sparingly, of course, because I don't want my logs saturated with fire-making material. They're already going to be flammable enough, and then I don't want that all over the ground either. So what last thing to do here is I need to tension the blade. So I'm going to crank on this handle here. That moves this arm, and it moves the wheel on the other side. Put full tension on the blade, and this will go up to, that top number is 1,500 pounds. This should be tensioned to 1,700 pounds. So I'm going to crank on this. Sorry for the jiggly of the video. And I'll get this up there to about 1,600 pounds. I'll have to check this occasionally for the first little bit as the blade kind of breaks in. It warms up, it stretches, all that good stuff, and the pressure will go down. So I need to just keep an eye on that, and I'll keep tensioning it. Show you the controls. So the controls here, start, on, off, right? And then battery accessory functions. The hour meter, this, I'll turn this on, moves my blade guide over there. This controls how fast the carriage moves in the forward direction, and then it's only got one speed to go backwards. This controls the height of the sawmill head, so up or down. And then this controller over here does forward and backwards. So if I push it all the way up, it moves forward. Push it back, it goes backwards. I'm lazy, so I don't have to push this thing. Oh, and it's heavy anyway. A cup holder for convenience. I use it for my lumber crayons. It's a tape measure. I got my framing square here to make sure my timbers are squared up. It's got a USB charger. I always forget that that's there. I need to charge stuff. And then it's also got just a regular old cigarette plug type outlet. Other than that, various motors to make it do things, a battery for starting and operating the electrical equipment, and the gas tank. So that's the 50-cent tour of the sawmill. I think I'll have time to do, one more log. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then that'll be the end of it for today. So I'm gonna set up the camera, I'm gonna go grab a log, and we'll get it cut. Oh, maybe you'd like to see this too. I'll go ahead and fold up this blade. All coiled up nice and neat, pretty stable, can transport safely now. It's a real nice log right there. I don't think this was a sugar maple. Yeah, this was a sugar maple. Sorry. Nice sugar maple here. Some little bit of knots. Got this crotch figure here, so this part of the log probably really isn't usable to me in the frame. Maybe. We'll see. But let's get some measurements here. These dimensions, 14 by about 10 and a half, and 10 feet long. That is probably 8 feet. 8 feet to the crotch. So this all really just depends on where and how it can be used. First, let's go ahead and mark this. Actual dimension is, I say 10.5 by 14 by, is that 9 feet? I think I said 9 feet. Way off. 10 feet. So this is like the maximum dimension, and my intent is eventually I'm going to try to cut this to maximize with the least amount of wane. So like this face is really good, but underneath here is not so good. This side, not too bad. So what this will probably be is either a 10 by 10 or a 10 by 12. This will probably be a 10 by 10 post for the main part of the house. So if this is 14 wide, I can take off probably like an inch on this side, maybe an inch and a half, take off an inch and a half on this side. So I'll have, well, not really showing you, 10-inch here. And then on this part, since this is 10 and a half inches and this face is pretty decent, I'll just take off a 1/2 inch here and make this 10-inch. What an awesome day. Brian and his dad, super nice people. Brian's dad was so excited, so pumped to be out here playing on the sawmill. I let him take a couple rips on it. End result of the day's activities, 5 beams. 5 beams, and some of these things are just mind-blowing. Maybe if you do this for a living, you've like seen this a bunch, so it's not as like insane, but let me turn you around so you can see. This is let's see, and I can guarantee you that the camera is not going to do it any justice. So those are the 10 by 10s that I milled up in the last milling video. That is another 10 by 10. That is an 8 by 8. That is a, I think this ended up being 12-inch by 12-inch, 15 feet long. This is 14 inches by 15 inches and 15 feet long. And this is 12 by 12 by like 16 feet long. Like, these things are incredible, absolutely incredible. And I kind of changed my game plan a little bit with these things. Oh, let me show you one more thing while I'm here. These kind of offcuts of that little 8 by 8 right there. Like, look how cool that is. Like that. That's gonna look nice once it's all dried up. Just some really cool figure in there. Yeah, that's some good looking stuff. So some cool little offcuts there, and that guy, I don't know, let's see if you can see that. That's like a 6-foot section with a nice little crotch area in there. I'm gonna cut that and just cut that into some slabs and see what that looks like. But let me walk you over here to the log yard. And we're making the pile dwindle away. It's going scarily quick. Probably means I'm going to need to be cutting down a lot more trees, but there's still a lot of logs here. So I was out here originally trying to just kind of eyeball these things and see like, hey, what of this stuff will I be able to use for what, right? So like this guy, it's huge, and I'm like, well, I think I can get like 2 10x10s out of that, but I'm not sure, because if I look down this thing, it's kind of got like a hump. And so I quickly realized that I do not have enough experience like looking and sizing logs to see what is there. So the end result of that is I'm just taking them over to the sawmill, and I am going to just be cutting them into as big of a cant as possible to see like what I'm working with, right? So like that 15x14, I don't need a 15x14 anywhere in the mill or in the house, but I do need 12x10s, 10x10s, 10x12s, 8x this is 8x that, 6x so's, right? So I need other beams, and once I have these things cut, I'll have a really good idea, because they're right in front of me, they're square. I can take a look at what's on the inside even and know that I got good lumber, right? So like this first one that we cut was like a 10x10 and was like super excited, and then on like the third cut, sliced in and a giant section of rot. So that's not going to work, but I have 9 feet usable up to that point, so that I can use. So I need to get going on that. Wow, look at the sunset going on back there. I need to try to get the drone up in the skies and see what's happening. I'm going to be going through, busting out square timbers as big as possible. I'm going to burn through that pile, see where I'm at, see what I need, and then I'm going to have to go over there to where we're clearing for the house and like finish cutting down trees so that I can get those milled up, see where I'm at. So super cold today, but really not bad. I mean, it was started out in the high 20s and it's now getting cold again, but in the middle of the day it was, you know, upper 30s. It was actually pretty decent, pretty nice. So that is it for today. Thank you for following along, and I will be seeing you on the next video. I appreciate your followings. I really do appreciate the random conversations with people about what's going on here at the property, and being, you know, complimented on the videos and how much you enjoy watching them. So thank you for telling me that you like watching what I'm doing out here, and we'll see you in the next video.